Well, if this is Sunday, this must be the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What's happening? Everyone, everywhere. What can I tell you? It's showtime. Yeah. Shout out Sunday. How about that? Shout out to the guy who found and returned a lost stolen guitar to Steve Vai after 36 years. Is that right? Steve Vai got one of his guitars back after 36 years? Okay. What's happening for Fabrizio in Italy? Yes, another beautiful show. Let's hope so. Come on now. Come on. And now in this corner, representing the Garden State of New Jersey, Mr. Scott Earth. Hi, Victoria. I hope that you are well. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, y'all. Let's bring this guy on. What's up?
What's up? I'm on the train.
Why don't you fucking just ride? Just
Driving the train.
You ever drive those things?
No, they won't let me do that.
You just can't drive it? You just can't be like,
no.
It looks easy. You just turn that thing, right?
It's frowned upon.
I saw the fucking taking the Pelham 123. I know how to drive that motherfucker.
Remember that guy that was actually hijacking subway trains for a while, just driving them around for hours?
I just read about him recently. He's like a serial hijacker, you know?
Yeah, it's like a joyrider, you know?
Yeah, he's got some issues. They let him out, and he went and they let him out after a couple of years, and he went right out and did it again.
Yeah, it's people are. You know what? I mean, I'm on the train all the time, but I have no desire to be an engineer. It's I can't live in this little tiny box. Be the man in the box.
I am the man. I got to get Paul Rackman, who directed that video. I've been asking him to come on the show. He directed Man in the Box. He directed Bad Brains' Soulcraft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's an old friend of mine. I'm trying to get him on the show, you know? So.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful day. It's a little cold, but sunny as hell. Beautiful.
You know who passed away this week?
Who's that?
Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
Robbie Bachman.
Robbie Bachman.
And
Lisa Marie Presley. I think there was one other, yeah.
I've been doing a deep dive on Jeff Beck this week, man. Big, deep dive on Jeff Beck. And I got to say, man, I love Jeff Beck. But, you know, back before I got into punk and hardcore, like when I was a young teenager, Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow, Wired, Live with the Jan Hammer Group.
Beckola.
That's before that.
Right.
And Jeff Beck, There and Back.
Right.
One of the first, Robbie Knievel. That's it.
That's the other one. Thank you.
Robbie Knievel. One of the first shows that I saw where I was really up close in 1980 at the Palladium in New York City, I saw Jeff Beck.
Oh, wow.
We got into the first row. We were like really, I don't know, how old was I then? 14 or 15. We it was all about, going to concerts and scamming around. And I saw Jeff Beck right in front of me, first row in 1980. Yeah, that record. Yeah, There and that's the record he was touring on, There and Back. And he played all that stuff. And I was first row, and we were on LSD. A lot of it.
Oh, man. You know what always blows my mind is the fact that Beck, Page, and Clapton all grew up together and all passed through the Yardbirds. Like, to have been another Yardbird in that band, having the chance to play with all three of those guys, it's just crazy. I mean, what was in the water over there,
I want to direct this to all the guitar players out there. How about Jeff Beck playing with his thumb like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he did some stuff with a pick, but you look at this Jeff Beck stuff from that era, and he played all this stuff with his thumb. Pretty wild.
Yeah. And he was obviously a friend of our friend Veronica Bellino from Life of Agony.
That's right. Veronica played with him. Yeah.
Yeah. And she spent her last birthday when he played in Huntington, and she got to see him and Johnny Depp and everything. Right. And really a terrible thing. It kind of that came and went. That was a fast, whatever, the bacterial meningitis.
Yo, but I got to say, anybody out there, man, Wired, what did I say? Wired, and the Live with the Jan Hammer group, and they're in. And yo,
truth.
As great as Jeff Beck was, I'm like listening to those records. Jan Hammer, yo, that dude's keyboard playing is like, I mean, Jeff Beck was okay, but yo, fucking Jan Hammer goes off on those records, man. Dude's going off on those records. Yep.
Yeah, those are amazing. I love the stuff that he did with Rod Stewart. I was a big fan of the early Beck, Bogart, and Appice and stuff like that, you know.
Bro, I saw Jeff Beck first row tripping my face off at the Palladium in 1980. Yo, I was like this. Yo, and speaking of Steve Vai, you know who I saw first row at the Bottom Line in New York City, and I wasn't tripping my face off, but he was right there. Joe Satriani on the Surfing with the Alien tour. Man, I was like this.
He taught Vi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you say we do photo of the day?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Why not? Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, wrong answers only, please. This is photo of the day. Here we go. Anybody. Photo of the day. That's a nice guitar.
That guitar looks like it's been through the wars.
Yeah. Yep. Is it? Is it Love Surfing with the... Yeah, hell yeah, man. All right, come on. What's taking you so long?
It's Sunday. They're sleepy.
It's Sunday. Is it Bo Diddley? Good one. That's kind of like a Bo Diddley guitar or a Chuck Berry guitar. It kind of is. Is it the Selector? Is it the Dance Hall Crashers? Okay, close. The Selector. I haven't heard that in a while.
Saw them at Tompkins Square Park, actually.
Who, the Selector?
Yeah, they played a couple years ago.
No, you got the wrong band, bro. You're talking about Inspector 7?
Yes, I am. You're right. Thank you.
Is it Marilyn Manson? Is it Cradle of Filth? Is it Led Zeppelin? Is it Bruce Willis? Hey, don't
Inspector
hate on
7.
Don't hate Bruce Willis. Yo, is it Jeff Beck on acid?
You know, speaking of Bruce Willis, we got about 1,000 bot things on the A7 page saying he was dead, and we had to keep removing them.
I know. Here's another one. Yo, you know what's funny? There's this like, remember when all these dudes like the dude from Miami Vice and like Bruce Willis, they all had bands for a minute, right?
Oh,
and
God,
like,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
I saw this old strip from the Ritz of all the bands playing, and it was like this one, that one, this one, that one, and Bruce Willis sold out. It's like, boy, I guess that was his moment. He was the only show that was sold out. You know?
He had a hit, too. It was called The Return of Bruno.
Yeah, right.
I remember that.
I think he's a little fucked up now. There you go. Here's another one. Is it Inspector Clouseau?
That's not my dog.
Is it Can Steven Show the Train Controls?
As long as you don't tell anybody.
Yeah, right. Hey, nobody watches this show. All right. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go there with it. Okay.
Oh shit.
Here you go. Right answers only, please. Here you go. Right answers only, please. Boom. Right answers only, please.
I don't know who it is.
Who could this be? Anybody? Is it Rancid? Good call, Mike. Yes, the Slayer bio. This, you know what? I wanted to mix it up today for today's guest, so I pulled the Slayer bio. I swapped out the typo negative gold record with the Biohazard Slayer poster. Is it Rancid? Is it Rancid? Is it? It's Lint with Rancid.
It is Lint with Rancid.
All right.
Back when he was a baby face without the beard that's like growing into his eyeballs at the moment.
Yeah, I don't get that beard, man. Like,
You know,
I don't understand that whole beard thing, man. Like
the other,
that. Like,
it's his beard goes upward. It goes like this up here into his eyes. And he's giant now. He got like really jacked now too. He's like really, he's like became like a weightlifter. But
what is this?
This is 2008. When Irving Plaza was briefly calling itself the Fillmore, they did 5 nights. Each night had 2 different bands, and I think I sent you the listing, the 5 band. Now this was the 5 nights, and you got some killer evenings here. I went to the Sick of It All Blood Clot night, and I went to the Madball Bomb the Music Industry night as well. And I think the shows were like really cheap too. I think that was like the whole thing.
That's pretty cool that they put all these New York hardcore bands down on this.
Yeah, no, this was a couple of these bands I'd never heard of. I hadn't heard.
I don't recognize other than the New York hardcore bands on here. I don't recognize any. I don't know Theo and the Skyscrapers, Westbound Train, Big D and the Kids Table, Capitol Radio, Shearer Girl, and Bomb the. I don't know those bands, but
Shearer
I do
Girl's
know
really good. Actually, I've seen Shearer Girl before, and Big D and the Kids Table I saw open for Rancid a while back too. But they were doing that like the year before this. They had done 5 nights at BB King's.
Right.
And they were doing like week-long runs, and I wish they would do that again. Those were a blast.
Yep.
And they would just that same guitar, like I can go back all the way to 1995, and he's used that guitar every single show.
You know what? We got to get one of these guys on the show.
Yeah, that would be good. 200-something episodes in. We haven't even gotten them yet.
Yeah, we got to get one of these guys on the show.
Right? Oh man, yeah. No, that was it. That was
There's some big shows coming up.
It's really big.
Yeah. So, all right, man.
Yeah, I guess I should get back to work. But
get back to work, bro.
Hey, you know what? Man. I want to make one shout out because it is Sunday. I want to shout out a friend of mine out in California named Blaine Horn, who was in a band called The Horns, and I just had the opportunity to record a song with them for an upcoming release of theirs. Which, if you find me on Instagram or everything, I'll send it to you.
Yo, that track that you did with them is very good.
Thank you. That's a song by a band called The Saints from 1977.
And it came up because we were shooting footage for the ID music video yesterday, and Mike, our drummer Mike, heard it, and we were both saying it's really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll tell you, Australia had some great punk rock that like I've only learned about in the last like 10 or 15 years. Like they had a whole world there that you know, the more I learn, the more I like.
I come from the land down under.
Well, I wasn't really thinking them, but I always loved Rose Tattoo, and I always loved a band called Buffalo. There's a lot of great bands from Australia.
I saw Men at Work in their heyday, bro. At the US Festival. I was at the US Festival.
Oh, that's right.
83. Yeah.
We should do a whole US Festival episode. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I got a crazy story, man. I got arrested there. It was like...
You know what? When get David Lee Roth on, and that would be there's our guest.
It was historical. It was the last show of the Clash with Mick Jones and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll talk to you in a bit.
You got it.
Take care. That's right. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. And you know what? This Wednesday, if you're a patron, and if you're not a patron, you should get to it. But this Wednesday, on the Patreon page, is going to be the big reveal, the big 250 guest reveal. And I will tell you this: there's two of them, because I asked a couple of people to do the 250th show, thinking, one of them is going to hit, and two of them hit. So show number 249 and show 250 are friggin' bangers. This Wednesday on Patreon will be a little, 10-minute episode that we're going to reveal it. And then after that, it'll go on social media. There's the Patreon page. Please join the Patreon page. Please support the show. It's $2 a month, you friggin' cheap bum. Help me help you. Join Patreon. Support the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Yo, there's no 250 show reveal. It's Wednesday on the Patreon show. All right? So, yeah, there you go. That said, this is the one. This is the only New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, DTFM Vinyl Distro, who are coming on today, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Upstate Records, who are coming on today, and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize and work with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet, Ringo Starr, and your friend of mine, Vinny Stigma of Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. Come on now, 126 Hardcore Clothing. They're a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself for years. They experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. That said, let's clear the deck. Yeah, Vinny Stigma, pro wrestler. How about that? Did you see that? That clip was actually pretty funny. Thank you, Astoria Lou. Astoria Lou came by. We had a private get together, a little private show for our friends and crew members as we shot some footage for the Incendiary Device video. Hi, Brooke. I hope you're well. Hope things are going well with the book, Brooke. You have to come back on the show soon. How about Al Jorgensen for 300? Yeah, sure. So let's clear the deck. Let's bring our guest on. Let's do what we do here. Let's do what we do. How do you do? Everything okay? All right, here we go. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. All right. Hey, guest, are you with us? Yeah, okay, I see him. All right, here we go. Today's guest is an American drummer hailing from Long Island, New York. He's known for his work with the bands Neglect, Mind Over Matter, Madball, Deathcycle, Blaze Camo, The Great Lie, and more. Please welcome, coming at us from Lindenhurst, Long Island, the hard-hitting John LaFata. Bro.
What's up? I had to bring in the chicken. Sorry.
All right, good. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How's things out in Long Island?
It's great. Beautiful. Thank you for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. You deserve. You certainly deserve to be here. You mentioned to me when we were doing a pre-show that you've lived only 40 feet in your whole life. You've been living in the same place your whole life. Is that right?
That's correct. My mother owned a house on the corner. It's like humongous, and we used to play in the basement. And then then when my sister bought the house next door, I lived in the basement, and then I bought the house next. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like everybody loves Raymond. That's what it's like here.
So
But
you've been on the street your whole life.
yeah, just here. Yeah, and it's
That's
great. 'Cause I
awesome.
got good neighbors. Which is cool. Everybody hangs out. Nobody complains. If anybody, let's put it this way: with the loud music we played in that basement, I'm
Yeah.
surprised. Like everybody's cool with it. I'm friends with everybody, which is cool. So
That's awesome.
we had really
That's
good
awesome.
times. Yeah.
So how did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Well, it's funny because when I was young, I used to actually, like, when I was like 6, 7 years old, I used to always carry a guitar. And my mom's like, "Oh, you're gonna be a guitarist. You're gonna be a guitarist." And I couldn't play the damn thing. It sucked. I'm like, I hate this thing. And then, like, I started banging on the table, and then my dad's like, "You should be a drummer or something." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I should." So I joined the band in 5th grade, which I
You
got kicked out.
joined the school
Yeah, a
band?
school band in like 5th grade, and I joined it, and I started learning like how to do rolls and all this bullshit, and I put the mallet through the bass drum, and they kicked me out. So I'm like, okay, so that's when I knew I have to hit hard. So, and that was it, and like that started my love for drums and everything else, and yeah, it was good.
Who what music came across your radar screen initially? What as a young person, what was the first music that you heard that you enjoyed?
Well, actually, it's kind of weird, but LL Cool J, My Radio, like I love that record, like,
My
and
radio, believe me, I
yep.
like it loud. I'm a hip stop.
I
My
loved it,
name is
and it's funny because I saw the radio on the cover. My dad was like so into like what I did, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I love this. I love this shit. It's like so cool. And he's like, and he saw the radio, and he goes, you
Uh-huh.
know what? He bought the radio and he brought it over to my house. He brought it home, and he's like, this is your radio now. The radio on the cover of LL Cool J. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
nobody has a louder radio in this shit. So like,
Right.
then he said, "You tap so much, I'm going to buy you a drum set." He bought the drum set. I got it for Christmas, and it was like a Mapex, which I think Mapex is actually big now. I don't know, but it was like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
piece of
I think
wood.
Mapex is sort of became
Yeah,
like a legit brand eventually.
yeah,
Like Skechers. It like eventually kind of came legit, you know?
exactly, exactly. It's so funny. And then like I just started playing drums in front of that radio because it was so loud. And I just started learning beats and stuff, and started practicing, and I learned all on my own, and that's when it all started, pretty much. So
That makes sense. And drummers, like when you started, like any drummers you saw, and I was like, that really influenced you early on?
well, I tried to, like, when I first learned, I tried to play like some simple stuff, like not simple, but like
Right.
AC/DC. I tried to learn because it's very simple and straightforward. And then
Bah, choo, bah,
yeah,
choo,
just
bah,
like
bah.
even like Dio's not simple at all, but like just that's one of my favorite drummers. Vinny Appice or Apache, whatever you want to fucking say. But
Yeah,
everybody has a
yeah.
different pronunciation of his
Sure,
last.
sure.
Yeah, but no,
His
he was like
his
the best.
by the way, his brother lives in my neighborhood. I see him all the time.
Oh, nice, nice.
Carmine, yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I never went there. I never really like. I didn't. He had drum clinics at the drum center and stuff like that, but I never really went. But he's one of my favorites. Like, he's just so simple and like,
Sure.
but straight up and really hard, and like, I love and Stuart Copeland is my favorite. So, from the Police.
Great drummer,
That's,
man.
that's my favorite drummer. I loved how he got in arguments with Sting, and like, he's just. And I read the
Fiery
story.
dude.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I read the story about like how he made his own sticks, and he's just like off the rail. Like, when I saw him
Yeah.
live, and I saw them live like when they got back together, but he's just an insane, like,
Great drummer.
he's a train.
Great drummers make bands, man.
Yeah, totally.
Great drummers make bands. Who is this? Is this Kerry that's posting? Is the Great Lie?
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ask
Oh,
him
the
about.
cymbal axe?
Ask what's the cymbal axe?
So the cymbal axe is like, I cracked a hi-hat and I carved it into an axe, and I made
Oh,
it. Yeah, and it's in the studio. It's the cymbal axe. It's great. If anybody comes in the studio and they don't belong there, we're gonna
right,
ask them.
right.
So,
Hey, Kerry, what's up, man? And thanks for coming through. And you know what? I want to say this while we're at
Carrie's
it.
that singer from Great Light.
Yeah, you guys were scheduled to play a Bowery Electric show, and then the whole shit house caved in. Kerry, reach out to me so we can get you guys in the Bowery Electric, man.
Nice.
Let's
Yeah, I
make
know. Unfortunately, like the last time you guys invited us, we just had something going on, and it sucked. We really wanted to play, So
yeah, it happens, man.
yeah, so we're totally excited if you can make that happen.
Yeah, just Kerry, reach out to me, and we'll make. I got a couple dates coming up. So Neglect kind of gets rolling in the early 90s, 91. How did Neglect start happening? And was Neglect your first band?
No, really, like I think Wine of Matter was my first band. Pretty
Okay.
much. Like I actually I started we started playing actually well no, I shouldn't say that. Like the guitarist from Neglect, he lived down the road from me. And we started playing together, and like we started like some metal stuff, and like we had a band Toxic Waste, which is retarded name, but whatever. So
you know what? Sounds very metal.
Yeah, it was totally metal, and we just started playing.
We're Toxic Waste.
I know. It was like so, but we were, young, had a good time, and like,
Sure.
we started playing, and then we started messing around, and we always had this formula, like, we would just jam and record everything, and then like come up with these riffs and songs, and and it was great, and we always just listen to Fingers Metal Shop, so like, that was cool because like I'm like I never really like heard metal like that, so and then basically like it just moved on from there, and then Mind Matter evolved, and it was like it was different. It was just like we always played in the basement. We just kept jamming out. Everybody came over. I started Mind Matter with Eddie Reyes, which is like Taking Back Sunday. We started a death metal band actually, which was Ninth Circle. Which was crazy, and we started playing death metal, and then we just started evolving from there. And like,
so it seems that sort of that Neglect and Mind Over Matter kind of started simultaneously.
Sort of, but I really loved Vice Grip. Like Vice Grip's the band that Neglect was before Neglect, and
I see.
I love Vice Grip. Like that was one of my favorite bands when I was younger. Like I just listened to them. Like I saw the demo, and I'm like, these guys are fucking awesome. Like they're just so good. And I went to Sundance, and then I just went to I started meeting them, and I'm like, it's so funny because I remember I just walked up to them, and I'm like, I'm your new drummer, and that's all there is to it.
So Aris is asking, how did Neglect start? Did Neglect sort of exist, and then you kind of stepped into it?
Well, no, it was basically Vice Grip, and they kind of like started falling apart a little bit. They just going on. Yeah, and I was kind of like, and I just saw the talent in like Brian Beal and like Bones. Like I was like, these guys like make my hair stand up, when you get that feeling when you hear music. And I was like, I want to be a part of this. So I just told them like, let's jam out, and let's start playing. And we started playing, and it worked out really good. And
here's the first kind of date wise, the first sort of Neglect flyer I have, which is 91. I guess you guys are coming into the city. This is Beowulf. I remember this place. We played this place when I was in Antidote. But I guess this is pretty early on in the Neglect game, right?
It is, and it's a crazy story, but I don't think we ever really played that show.
it was one of those deals. Huh?
Well, what happened? It was really crazy because like I remember that like we went there, and the NYHC, we went together in the van, and we were like, we're gonna play together. Let's just all drive. And I believe this is the show where Mike NYHC, God rest his soul. Anyway, he's like asking the guy like, he started asking him some questions, and he's like, no, you know what? Fuck you. And he took a fucking chair and just broke the whole mirror down in the place. And he's like, we're not playing. Let's get out of here. And I'm like, okay. So. Wow. Yeah, no, it was funny. It was like it was nobody there. It was really kind of like, but I don't think I played that show.
I played that show once. Let me see. I played that show. This is interesting. Let me see if I can find this. I played, what's it called? Beowulf, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm almost positive, but.
Oh yeah, here it is. Get a load of this.
Christ, so.
Get a load of this shit. Oh, this is good. Hold on. hold on. Hold on. Shit just kind of went awry. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. This is interesting. This is worth mentioning. That when I was in Antidote, hold on. Beowulf. Come on. How do you spell that? I'm fucking it up already. We played. I got to find this again. Hold on. Be patient.
That's fine. I got all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I can't remember how to spell. How do you spell fucking Beowulf? Beow. Okay. Beow.
Maybe the 2 dots above the O or something.
Yes, here it is. I remember this place. Okay. What is this one? Oh, okay. Interestingly enough. All right. So in September June 25th, 1991. Holy shit. This is like right around the same time. We played the place, and it was one of the last shows we did of this era at Beowulf with Typo Negative. A very early, nice. It was Typo Negative, Nonfiction, and Antidote. Yeah. And I remember because I fell off the stage, and it was a high stage. I fell off the stage and hit myself right in my tailbone and like hurt myself pretty bad, man. Yep.
I fell off the stage many times. So
yeah. Here's another, and here's a flyer that I made for that show. Sorry, it's a rare opportunity I get to. We talk about Beowulf. Here's the flyer I made for the Antidote show at Beowulf with the Planet of the Apes theme, which Stephen Messina would appreciate, you know. So anyway, so that show didn't happen. Here's another one.
I don't think it did. I'm pretty sure that's the one, but I mean, we had a lot of good shows. You know, it was so.
This is a great one, by the way. This is a great one right here. This is later on in the year. This is a great flyer. Yeah. Great flyer.
I love the script, like, you know, just everybody just West Babylon. I think that was actually a studio, like an old studio.
You know, I was trying to figure that out. Like, what is this place?
Yeah, it was just like a studio, and like it was pretty cool. I remember, I never forget the day because it was like really cloudy out, and you could see the smoke coming from the you know, the background of the graveyard, and it was such a cool place. It was a good time. I had a really good time.
Yeah,
you know, like I always play double shows, as you could see.
Yeah, I see also that Mind Over Matter and Neglect are on a lot of flyers together.
Yeah, I mean, why break down the stuff? I'll just stay up there and I'll just take, you know.
And here's one you sent me that you told me this was the first Mind Over Matter show. Is that right? This one?
This one, I'm almost positive that's the first Mind Over Matter show at Sundance, which was funny.
Wow, there you go. Hey, there you go, RS70 Sundance.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you can tell $5 with coupon. I mean, come on. It was like
I see the connection here. There's Vice Grip, which later would morph into Neglect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I got it.
Like you know, Joe Garcia, like he played in that band. He's a great drummer. Like I always love Vice Grip. He's freaking, you know, it's awesome. So
let me ask you, around this era, you know, being a Long Island guy and playing with a lot of Long Island bands, you know, what was the scene? What kind of places did you play out there? And who were your peers? What bands were sort of in your circle? And paint us a little picture of like the Long Island scene back then, you know, venues you played, bands you played with.
I mean, you know, obviously PWAC and, you know, Sundance and just like, you know, just local stuff, like even backyards. It was kind of cool, like playing backyards with like Silent Majority and just like, we were all like, it was all such a good tight knit, you know, brotherhood. Like everybody just loved each other. It's, you know, Lindenhurst is great. I love Lindenhurst. It's like so much talent came out of here. And like, I can't even think of like anybody wants to be in a band, you could be in a band. Like that was cool about it. And everybody just hung out, had a good time, and Silent Majority's playing now, which I'm really excited about. So, you know, even like just backyards and stuff, it was just great. Like we just always have a good time here. So
what is this is a later flyer here. What is this place? Hotel Leningrad? Is that a Long Island venue? Is that a Long Island venue?
I think that might be like the Angle or some shit. I don't know. I just remember, I think it was the Angle. It was like a little club. Yeah, I know. I took a lot of pictures of this stuff, and I don't even know.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that was like the angle it was called, and it was like out. You know, it was good. It was a good show.
You know, Gerard says Mind Over Matter is still an underrated band. It really holds up, though. And Neglect was the biggest Long Island band until VOD exploded, which sort of segues into, you know, it seemed like Neglect, you know, had a couple real busy years there. I mean, demos and 7-inches and split 7-inches and a record. Like, you guys really got on a fast track, huh?
I mean, not too fast. I mean, we just like you know what it was? We had so many new songs. Like, I got to give credit to, like, you know, Derek Schilling. Like, he always, like, he had like a ton of songs. Like, and we just kept making song after song after song, and it just kept chugging along. You know, and we just wanted to play all the time.
Sure.
That's it, and just have a good time. Like, we never thought about, like, you know, oh, we're gonna play here, play there. It's just like people invited us, more like a party. That's what it was. Just like Mind Over Matter, everything was a party. That's what's fun about the old days. Which I'm surprised I never crossed paths with you either. Which you know, it's so funny because you know, I'm gonna just say this, but it was so funny because, like, we played, you know, the Bowery Electric a couple weeks ago, and the first time I kind of met you, it was like I was playing at a Tom, and you're like, "What are you doing with that?" So I'm like,
what was that? What happened?
No, like at the Bowery Electric, I'm like bringing in an extra tom, and you're like,
like, what are you doing with that?
I know. See, I'm a 5-piece tom guy. Like, you know, I have to bring it in.
You know what it is? I get a little. It's like doing so many of these shows. It's like, you know, you try, like, you know, it's like, didn't you read the memo? But
no, I know. You're probably like, who's this fucking asshole bringing in the?
But you know what? And I was. But you know what? I watched you play, and I was like, this fucking guy has. Do you remember? I said, you got a fucking great fucking snare sound. You got a great, you know. I was like, this fucking guy's great. Then I connected that. Okay, I get it. It's fucking John LaFata. So it was kind of interesting. Like, I was like, wow, this guy's a really good drummer. And then I realized, you know, okay. But yeah, we never connected back in the day, which is
pretty, like an ultra New York City. You know,
yeah, I'm a New York guy.
Yeah, you know, and I'm an ultra Long Island guy. And we probably did cross paths and probably didn't even know it. So but, you know, now, I appreciate it. So.
Yeah, no, you guys were great, man. I mean, you guys were. I mean, we'll get to Deathcycle, but that was a great show, and you guys were great, man.
Thank you.
You know,
appreciate it.
And like, I'd really like to see you guys play with as a 5-piece, right? Because Paul plays with you guys, right?
Yeah, we miss Paul. I wish he can be here. You know, he's awesome. He's just insane. But, you know, God bless him. He's on his way to, like, I don't know. He's doing some crazy shit. So I appreciate it.
Drawing Moose says he brings an extra rack tom, then roasts everyone. That's what we
It was a lot worse, so I'm pretty good now. I used to have the rack system, which is retarded. But like,
the old rack system. Yeah. Early on, didn't Neglect record with Don Fury a few times?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mean, everybody did, right? Any
Don Fury memories or perspective?
Not really. I mean, you know, he was, you know, I love Don Fury. He has a different style, I guess. You know, he's definitely like, you know, he actually helped me when we recorded. He kind of like was like, you know, that's kind of like when he was like, you know, you're not playing it on time, you know, and I couldn't stand him. I'm like, you know, fuck you, I'm not playing on time. But you know what? He was right. And it was like, you know, he tried to keep me on time, and, you know, the recordings are great. If you ever hear any recordings from him, you know, it speaks for itself. So like, you know, I was appreciative to work with Don Fury. He's like the legend. So
and you think I'm rude in this, you know, he just lays it in there, right? He just doesn't give a, he'll just tell you if I mean, that's how Don is. This is you playing in an early Neglect show, correct?
Oh my God, I wish I was in that shape.
Yeah, this looks like.
That's when I had hair.
It almost looks like CBGB's, but it's not.
No, I think I mean, I don't even know. I had so many pictures just mangled with, you know, mixed with each other. I think that was actually Europe. That was like.
Oh, is that right?
With Neglect. So.
Yeah, your bandmate says you're now the human metronome.
I know.
Right on.
You know, and I give credit. You know why I'm now? I give total credit. Like I got to say, like Matt Henderson too. Like this guy, he's just like, you know, he used to bust my balls all the time. Like you're off time, you're off time. But I'm like, and I used to hate it. But I'm like so thankful now because it really put me on track to be the, you know, and he's awesome.
Yeah, this looks like about around the same time, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell by the shorts, bro. That's like 99. It's like
I know. I had the jams and shit. I know.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I still have the same symbol. So just
do you?
Yeah.
Here's another one, but this is just this is the haircut shot here. Hold on.
Oh no, please.
This is just the haircut shot.
No, oh no, that's when I was 12. Believe it or not.
Is that right?
12 years old, yeah. And you see toxic.
Oh, look, it says toxic waste in the back.
Yeah, that was the original. That's before Neglect.
Wow.
Yeah, that was before Neglect. We me and the guitarist Derek Schilling, we made Toxic Waste, which is kind of funny. Yeah. That was in my basement. We lived down there basically. So
that's how any what other hardcore drummers that sort of from that era when you were young that you saw and like were left an imprint on you that you were like, wow, this fucking guy.
Jeff Meridian, like of freaking, you know, what the hell is it? Help me out here.
I don't know. Jeff Meridian.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let's see what.
Sorry, Hammerhead. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. Hammerhead.
That's a band?
AMRAP. Yeah, AMRAP band, Hammerhead. I couldn't think of it for a minute because I'm like thinking.
All right.
I just know him.
I do not know this band, Hammerhead.
Oh my god, Hammerhead's one of my favorite bands. I couldn't think of it.
Were they a hardcore band? A hardcore band?
They're like an AMRAP band. Like might not matter play with them. We did our first tour with them, and he's just incredible. He's like such a hard hitter, and I guess Will Shepler. I mean, you know, I had to learn Will Shepler stuff. So yeah, I don't know if you ever heard him. Like it was like I don't know if it was Interloper or whatever, but Hammerhead's one of my favorite bands. I couldn't think of it though.
Here's an interesting flyer from March 22nd of 1992. I like this one. It is the toilet bowl of hardcore. I like this. I like this one. The toilet bowl of hardcore. And what I like about the flyer is that literally it doesn't tell you where it is.
I know.
Who the fuck makes a flyer that doesn't tell you where the fuck it is?
I know. It's horrible.
It's the toilet bowl of hardcore, 10 bands, $12, you know, Neglect, Mind Over Matter, Upstate, Sheer Terror, SFA, and they don't say where it is.
Horrible. I know. It was like in Levittown. I think it's up there. Let me say. I don't know. Somebody chime in. Does anybody know where it will?
You know what? It's funny because, you know, I'm working on the second book now with all the flyer stuff. It's amazing how many flyers I see that either don't have the venue or don't have the date.
I know. I don't understand.
How the fuck you make a flyer? I found another one somewhere too.
Well, there was nowhere else to go anyway. If you think about it, like there was nowhere else to go. Everybody just kind of like, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have like cameras. That's why I didn't have any pictures for you because it was like Kodak.
There was another one that. Oh, here's another one. It's like that I got, and it says it's a Neglect flyer, and it says last New York show before European tour. Oh, excuse me. This one is at the PWAC, right? Neglect, last show before European tour. SFA, no redeeming, one more band. Blah 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 blah. It's at the PWAC. There's no fucking date on it.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
How funny is that?
Yep.
You know?
Well, we had no phones, no cell phones. Everybody just kind of like, okay, go in there. That's it.
So
it's the 90s.
So Neglect made it over to Europe.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah, tell us about it.
We basically took like Air Pakistan and for like $500, and we got over there, and that was it. And we just like lived in pretty much youth hostels, just like Mine Don't Matter. You know, we didn't have hotels, we didn't have the luxury, made no money, and we just did it for the you know, just to have the experience, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
We had such a good time, so we went all over the place, you know.
Did were you headlining? Did you guys?
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah.
What year was that?
Like,
90.
I guess any New York band that went over there was headlining. So
yeah, yeah. So it's like 94, 95.
Well, it was actually early 90s, probably a little earlier than that. Because I remember like like high school, like going like summer break was going to Europe. So
yeah, that's cool. Here's another one. Some of these flyers are great. I appreciate you sending them to me. This is an interesting one. The Long Island Rock Rat. What is that? Is that?
Oh, I think it was.
I was trying to figure out what. Another. It was like another one of those. Yeah. Hey, come like to the rehearsal room.
LA Rocks was like a little like VFW hall, like in Mass people. Yeah, it was just, you know, back then it was like you're lucky if you get anybody to take your bands in. So yeah. But it was fun.
You know what? One thing that was really interesting, and I want to play this clip, and maybe you is this Neglect video. This is the blood version?
That's actually real blood.
What's going on here?
I don't know. He just likes to come himself, I guess. But Brian is awesome. You know, he's definitely changed his life. I just spoke to him yesterday, actually. I was going to have him like pop on and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's awesome. That was actually real blood. He actually cut himself for that video. But,
wow, let's look at this a second.
Sorry for my voice. I'm like,
it's all right.
Cold.
Be a worse than I'll leave you, babe. Kids recede, everybody bleeds, blessed greed, and you beneath the lies of dead. Straight to your head, they want you to live when you want to be dead. Every human for themselves in a world that's based on greed. They don't realize the life they create is
heavy, bro. Heavy. Yeah. And this was on Headbangers Ball even, huh?
Yeah. It was filmed in Europe too, so it was pretty cool. Yeah. Well, Europe Headbangers Ball, but you know, it was so much fun. Like, you know, like I said, I still talk to Brian. He just moved on. He kind of has, you know, a better life now, but still a great guy. You know, I wish I can get Neglect back together again. You know, I would love it. So, but it was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. But that's all real blood. Everything is not, which is crazy. I'm like, don't get it on my cymbals because it oxidizes the fucking cymbals. Yeah, I had spots. That was rough spots. I'm like, come on, you know, no.
Don't bleed on my. Don't bleed on my. You want to bleed for. You want to bleed for the art. That's okay, but don't bleed on my cymbals, right?
No, yeah, the cymbals are, you know, they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
So. Neglect, you know, a couple releases. I know you did that split 7-inch with Jamie on JB's label, right?
Yeah.
On Stillborn. A couple of releases, and then it kind of winds down around 96. Why did Neglect wind down, and why did you guys kind of move off it?
I just think everybody, like, you know, just like any other band, right? Like everybody moves on. Like everybody just has different outlooks, and you know, people move and it's just not right anymore. You get writer's block. It's just all kinds of stuff. You know, I've been in so many bands and it's like, as long as you say friends, that's the key. So, but I like moving on. It's kind of nice. Like, you know, it's refreshing. It's like, you can always play those songs, but I love the bands I play in now. Like even Deathcycle, we took a break, right? And now when I play with them, I feel like I've never felt like this before. like now I feel really powerful playing them. It's just different, you know, everybody moves on. They have different things, you know, or they make another band or it sucks, whatever. Different outlooks, politics. Shit.
And also it seems to me, just knowing what I know about the ebb and flow of, you know, of this sort of, I think it's probably safe to say for any band, is that when you're a young guy and you know, coming out of high school and you start a band with your friends, you know, you do a couple of years, and then in your early 20s, it's like it seems like there's a crossroads. You know, for a lot of people, it's like, am I going to college? Am I starting a family? I want to do other things. And a lot of bands sort of fold at that point. Some get picked back up again, but you know, that's a common sort of you know, situation, you know.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I went through. I kind of
Yeah.
like, I wanted to change careers. I got married, bought a house. I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking like, is this my life? Am I gonna do it? I like playing for fun. That's all there
Sure.
is to it. I
Sure.
play with my all. I play with every. I don't care if I make no money whatsoever. And I just love playing I love doing what I do. I love playing drums, but you gotta support the household. You gotta make money,
Sure.
and it sucks in New York. It's a pain in the ass here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You know, we've talked about it. I experienced it when I was in Antidote, and we've talked about it on the show. That for a lot of people, I'll keep it in the eye. When Antidote got back together after 16 years and we started playing again, it was really enjoyable because at that point, everyone, pretty much everyone, with you know, with one exception, you know, kind of moved on and had a life and a wife and a job. So when we got back to it, it was like a hobby. We were doing it for fun again, which is like it was in the beginning. It wasn't, we need to get this record deal and we need to do this and, you know, we need to sell this you know, it was like, let's get back together and play music because we love doing it. And it was really enjoyable.
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I'm just like loving it right now. I just love getting back in the seat again. I'm just like, I'm in that mode. I'm in that mode.
Yeah.
Like I just want to crush shit, and I don't care about the
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
I don't care if I make $10. I don't care. Well, if you ever have a show, don't. I'll take more than $10, but
Don't worry, Bowery Electric's a free show.
okay.
Don't expect much.
$50,
But,
a couple of
yeah.
beers. That's it.
We'll cover you coming in from Long Island. You know, so here's a clip. This is a Neglect reunion, and I believe
Like it's 11.
Yo, looks like people were coming out for the Neglect reunion, bro.
I mean, I mean, I believe it. Like people love Neglect. I love Neglect. I just wish, I wish we can get back together and just do something. But it's just not going to happen. Never going to happen.
So was 2000? Was this here the 2006 the last time Neglect played?
I think so. Yeah. Actually, it was.
Yeah. Any idea where this was?
It was at I'm pretty sure it was in Levittown on Hempstead Turnpike. I forget.
Lux? Was the name Lux?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess. They change it so many times. It's like this big empty space now. Probably a Chinese restaurant or something is in there.
Yeah.
A buffet, but
is that right? Mike Sade says, I was at that reunion and I remember Brian passed out on stage.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was at the bar getting a beer.
Oh, Ritual. That's the name of the place?
Ritual. Oh, Ritual. All right. Thanks, Jay Banks.
Yeah.
Jay Banks, the man.
What's Lux? Why is everyone yes Lux? What is Lux? Is Lux
I don't know. Like
the name of the place?
Lady.
It's like people were having a good time.
No, we had a great time.
Oh, here's what he's saying.
Regardless of the pass out.
It was Lux at one point. Okay, the name of the club. It had a couple of names.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the same as the Crazy Donkey?
No, the Crazy Donkey's on 110. Yeah.
That place I remember. Yeah. Oh, it used to be the old Hammerheads. I remember Hammerheads.
That's right. That is right.
I remember that.
Kudos to Jay.
That's some classic shit. That's some classic Long Island shit right there. Hammerheads. That's like Twisted Sister shit, you know? A Rat Race Choir, Hammerheads, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're right. See, Jay has all the history. I should have had him on here.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So how does Mind Over Matter kind of fit into it in the trajectory of Mind Over Matter? When does that sort of end up, or how does that go?
Well, like Mind Over Matter, like I said, it was like the first band kind of.
Yeah.
So like I met Eddie Reyes. He's in Taking Back Sunday. Kind of like, we started playing in that death metal band, and I was in high school, and I met George, who was a singer, and he was actually like, first of all, like back in high school, if you walk down the hallway and you had docs, they'd be like,
Yes.
"Oh, you're a hardcore guy." I'm like, "Yeah," So he's like, "Oh, I sing," and I was like, "Oh, you should come over and we'll just jam out." And then we started jamming out. So like, and I remember George Reynolds, he came over. He brings like the New York hardcore sleeve with all the lyrics in it, and he starts screaming like Gorilla Biscuits, So that's how it started. And we're like, "Yeah, we love this guy." And then it was just like it just went on from there. And then we met Scott Martin and Artie Shepherd, and then we just we moved on. But by the way, Scott Martin's been with me since I started Mind Over Matter. He's in Great Lie. So
so there's a lineage there.
He stuck with me all the years. Like he's
That's
always
great.
been my friend, one of my best
great.
friends. So
Good.
same with Gary. Like I know Gary forever, Gary Bennett. Like ever since the old days, like we just been stuck. We stuck together. So that's nice.
I'm getting to know Gary. Gary's a really nice guy and great player too. He really impressed me the last time I saw him play, man.
Yeah, I mean, like when I play with Gary, it's just like I don't have to even think. Like we just meld, That's just the way it is. It's like, I could just close my eyes and play.
Yeah.
That's what you want, So
yeah, absolutely. So when was the last time Mind Over Matter played?
Oh my God. I think
is that going back
I don't know. Anyway, it was like a reunion show. I think I sent you the flyer with Bouncing Souls.
I love it. I love this. Pat Ballwood says, I remember a zine review of their double album at the time. Quote, if you don't kill yourself by the end of this, face it, you never will. That's fucking great, bro. That's great. Yeah. Juratory 13 says, Gary Bennett is an absolute gentleman and a great player, riff writer. I couldn't have said it better. A real gentleman and yeah, great guy, Oh, he says at the Paramount. Jay Banks.
Okay. James knows everything.
Here's a cool flyer from Wetlands. Burn, Bad Trip, and Mind Over Matter with Wetlands,
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
It doesn't it doesn't have any details.
April 5th, Wetlands.
That's it. April 5th.
Just you're kind of like me. It's like I don't remember a lot of the shows I played, man. It's like, but you kind of figure it out. That said, let's take a sponsor break, and we'll come back in a couple minutes, and let's talk about your stint in Madball, Look My Way era, and we'll talk about The Great Lie and Blaze Camo. All right, we'll see in a couple minutes. All right.
All right, sounds good.
That's right. It is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today is Mr. John LaFata. We're going to be coming back after the sponsor break with a couple of our friends. We're going to talk some record stuff with Devin from DT FM Vinyl Distro and Mario and Kim from Upstate Records. Right after this.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey guys, Vlad from Organic Grill. As you can see, we're in a new location on West 3rd Street, right by Blue Note and Comedy Central. The place is bigger, kitchen is bigger, we have more varieties, more food. We are looking forward to treat you guys with great dishes. All hardcore Chronicles, welcome to Organic Grill. We are going to serve all the events as we usually do, and we are happy to see you guys.
Peace, what it do? Welcome to NYHC Comics at 117 Main Street, Dobbs, Surrey, New York. I'm Debo the Pro with my homie
Lee Farley.
Welcome to the spot. Specializing in yesterday's and today's comic books, rare CGCs, toys, collectibles,
Got skateboards, old school tapes, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer.
video games, original art pieces by your favorite New York City and worldwide artists. Let's go. Skate decks all day, baby.
We also have the young reader section here for like 10 and under. Pops. People love the Pops.
Star Wars. We are New York hardcore. We always rep the scene. Let's get it on.
There you go. Is that who does the intro for New York Hardcore Comics? If you're talking about the music, that is Incendiary Device. And that was off the demo we did, and the record's getting mixed now. So that's a song called Negative Attitude that's coming out on Incendiary Device, which I can say will be out on Bridge 9 Records. That's about to be announced. Anyway. Therefore, you have it. Hey, let's talk about upcoming shows real quick. Coming up a week from today, Mr. Brian Harris of Death Before Dishonor will be on the show. A week after that, we are all very excited. Mr. Richie Stotts from the Plasmatics and King Flux. And a week after that, Phil Demmel from Violence and Machine Head. A couple days later, a personal favorite of mine. It's been a while since we've done a side trip. It is a Hot Tuna retrospective with our friend Steve Austin, who played with Jorma Kaukonen, who's a real Hot Tuna historian. This is a band that I love. I'm very excited about this. Just announced the other day, Andy Guida from Altercation, Super Touch, Absolution, and he has the recording studio 6-3 Studio. A couple days after that, the one, the only Vinny Vitale from Marauder will be on the show. This was just announced the other day, Sunday, February 26th. Come on now. From MDC, Mr. Dave Dictor. This will be fucking great. And then Skeeter will be on the show. DC Hardcore Represent on Wednesday, March 1st. This one has yet to be announced. This is a cool show here. We all love when we have filmmakers on this show. Wednesday, March 8th. Film director Danny Garcia will be on the show. He has directed a handful of punk films that you have probably seen. The Rise and Fall of the Clash, Looking for Johnny about Johnny Thunders, Stiv about Stiv Bators. He directed Rolling Stone, The Life and Death of Brian Jones. He also directed the film Nightclubbing, The Birth of Punk Rock in New York City, which is having a DVD release, and that's why he is coming on the show. So yeah, there's lots going on, and the 249th show and the 250th show, the initial reveal is going to be on the Patreon this Wednesday. There's no show. There'll be a Patreon show. So please, if you haven't joined Patreon, this Wednesday will be the big reveal. Support the show. Support the show that supports you. So that said, we're gonna get to questions in the last part of the show. So hold your horses, as my grandpa would say. Hold your horses. That said, what else? Rest in peace, Jeff Beck, Robbie Bachman, Lisa Marie Presley. What else? I think that's it. Any updates on the new book? Yes. Thank you for asking. It's getting there. I'm putting in a lot of work. The last couple of interviews I did are being transcribed. Interviews I did with Danny Schuler from Biohazard, Roger Moret from Agnostic Front. It's getting close to going to the designer. I'd say that the new book is probably 4 to 6 months from coming out. It's getting there. It's getting there. And if you are a patron, I've been posting these interviews with these people about the book. So please join Patreon. Also, there's a PayPal address there if you want to make a donation. There's also a super chat function. And if you have a communication device, please follow the show on Instagram at Stone Films NYC. So there you go on that. What is Evan back in the Hazard? Bro, what are you, living in a cave, dude? Come on. This was announced fucking months ago. Yes, Evan Seinfeld is back in Biohazard. Biohazard's touring Europe. You heard? Come on. Help me help you, bro. Come on. It's called the internet. So there you go. Let's clear the deck. Let's bring on a couple of our friends. I live in another city. LOL. Thanks. Bro, the internet, it's an incredible thing. It transcends all boundaries. It reaches all kinds of cities. And could you believe there's people watching this show right now all over the planet Earth? They are all over the planet Earth, and they are watching this show. Why? Because music is the tie that binds us all together, my friend. Rapethi, welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles. Well, that's right. It's the World Wide Web. What exciting times we live in. This is incredible. Yeah. Blabbermouth headline in 3, 2, 1. Absolutely. Hey, I'm just busting your balls, man. The bottom line is thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate it. Let's clear the deck and let's bring some of our friends on. Here we go. Okay, so I want to, first off, I want to bring on our good friend and good supporter from DTFM Vinyl Distro, Mr. Devin Casavant. Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
How are you? I also want to bring our latest sponsor on. We're so excited to have them, Mario and Kim from Upstate Records.
Hey, what's going on?
We just got internet today, bud, so I'm glad that we were able to make it. It was a close one.
Can you believe this? Here you go. Love from Chile. Hardcore lives. See? It is amazing, this internet thing.
Yeah, but there's no dumb questions.
Listen, let me tell you, my friend. Where is he? Where is he? Rapathi. Listen, let me tell you about the internet, bro. Pornography is free on the internet if you could find it. You don't have to put VHS tapes in anymore and worry about who's coming through the door. There's porno on the internet and it's free.
Yep. I'm dying, bro. I'm dying.
It's amazing. And music, you know what? You can see Norway. Now everybody's representing Norway. Listen, it's amazing. Or beta tapes. Astoria Lou knows. Astoria Lou in Astoria, Queens. It's like beta tapes, you know? Yeah. No way, bro. I'm telling you. Yuck. All right, let's get down. So, Devin, you told me that somebody came through and we're moving out of town. Why don't you set the table? Tell us what's going on.
All right, so someone came in. They were moving to California. They brought in like boxes of stuff, and we haggled on the price. We settled at $500, and it's just like a treasure trove. We keep going through it, and we keep finding gem after gem after gem in immaculate condition, and I'm just stunned at what we find. It's amazing. Like and they babied these records.
So it was like, hey, we're leaving out of town. We need some gas money. What'll you give us for this?
Yes, basically.
And the highlights being?
So far, first, because I'm a big Terminator fan, the remake of the Terminator soundtrack. Yeah, on Time-Field vinyl.
Okay. That's
So
a little off my radar screen, but okay.
No, I think
didn't
it's
even
awesome.
know
But then again,
existed.
you know what? But then again, I have to say, the soundtrack of the Terminator was great.
It was.
It really was. I remember it. It was really good.
They
You
did
know?
a really good job with that movie. What was it,
Yeah.
84?
Yeah. 80, yeah. And who directed that?
James Cameron,
That's right. And what did he just direct? It's out now?
Avatar.
2. Yeah, it's really
2.
good.
I
I
haven't seen it.
I recommend Avatar 2 to anybody out there. If you the spectacle of it all, it was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it, you know? All right, what else?
I'm a big Aliens fan. That's my favorite James Cameron movie.
I will say this about Avatar 2. You see James, he pulls out all his tricks. There's like, okay, I remember this scene from Aliens. Okay, I remember this scene from Titanic. Like there's, you see his, there's a little bit of everything in there, All right, what else you got?
All right, another soundtrack here. It's the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch soundtrack. But it's not just the Season of the Witch soundtrack. It's the special edition with the green blob on the vinyl. And it comes with, like, fortune teller playing cards. I've never even heard of this. I didn't even know this was a thing.
You know who's a big, like horror soundtrack fanatic is Dave Niebuhr from Dog Eat Dog. He's a fanatic. Yeah. Okay. And?
All right. This I actually have in my collection, but I've never seen another one. Good Riddance, Peace in Our Time, but it's the Oxblood edition. And it comes with, if you look real closely here, there's a 7-inch on the cover.
Wow.
This only came with the first pressing. And Fat Records always does like, weird numbers like 336 or 537 or just weird numbers like that. So this is really hard to come by, especially in as good a shape as this. Like, it's
That's
practically
cool.
mint. And I've got 2. This one, I was just shocked.
Woo-wee!
This may just look like a regular Minor Threat album, but it's an 80s pressing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a press from 1987, green cover, and they don't make the green cover anymore.
Is that on Discord? That's Discord?
This is on Discord. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's flawless. Like I can see myself in the vinyl.
Yeah. Good.
Bonus.
Okay.
And
last but not least,
this one goes out to my buddy Morbid Rob.
Nice.
Again, flawless 80s press.
Wow.
Just I couldn't believe it. And we're still finding gems in these boxes.
He must have had to get out of town quick, man. He was probably like out there in fucking in Fargo, North Dakota. He was probably like, my fucking meth lab is like on fire and they're about to catch me. I got to get out of here.
I was going to say, but how do you feel about even selling them? Isn't it something you want to hold on to now?
I almost want to hold on to the Terminator soundtrack because I'm such a fan.
Well, Astoria Lewis, are you keeping or selling these? Not that I want to buy them, as I don't know, but you're in the business of selling shit, right?
I'm selling them. But man, these are just gems.
Right.
Like,
well, that's great, man. Good shit. Mario and Kim, so happy, and let me move you. Let me move you over here. I'm so thrilled that you guys are sponsoring the show now. I think it's such a perfect fit. And something that we talked about that we're going to do is we're going to do an Upstate Records sort of spotlight on one of your releases every time you come on the show. And this week we're going to start with this, which is Marauder the Minus Years. Can you give us a little take on this?
Oh man. So I think Marauder's like everybody's crossover fave, and back when I was, in the early days of the Albany scene, between Stigmata and Marauder, I mean, it was just a hotbed of, great music, everything was fresh, and seeing that crossover kind of come together with the hardcore scene, and Marauder obviously championed that flag for sure. So it was probably in August timeframe of 2020, if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah.
And obviously Mike Valenti, big shouts to him. He's got connections with Minus, and they were kicking it around and said, hey, what do you think about reissuing one of the demos on vinyl? I know a label that will be willing to do it. So he pitched me, and somehow, some way, getting connected with Bob Riley. He had the 94 demo. So we're just talking about repressing the 91 and this, special 94 demo that they were using to pitch to other labels. So Bob Riley had it on CD, great quality. And then as we were starting to make the rounds, Richie from Darkside NYHC hit me up and said, hey, I have the 93 demo. And I have all the WAV files right from the studio.
Wow.
Because originally we just had the MP3s, which was obviously a poor quality, but he had the WAV files directly from the studio. And he hit me up and we said, all right, obviously these aren't ready for vinyl. So we had a local mastering engineer. We worked with him. And all we really wanted to do was preserve the integrity of those original recordings. So even though they were mastered for vinyl, they weren't remastered for audio quality, if it makes sense.
Right. No additional mastering went in. We wanted to keep it as raw as possible.
Sure. That makes sense. Also, so this is out now. How can people get it?
Yeah, it's on our web store. We dropped a pre-order. This is when, the pandemic was really affecting vinyl. And we dropped the pre-order, I think, in February of 2021.
And then we didn't get the vinyl actually in hand until December.
Yeah, a week before Christmas. Yep. So we, people are hitting us up left and right, like, hey, where's our vinyl? So I actually drove down to New York City to pick them up from the hub. And we spent that whole week before Christmas just
packaging and shipping.
Hundreds upon hundreds of records, bro.
Now, I see that Minus is gearing up to play a Marauder show, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hooligans
sir.
Holiday. It's coming up, January 28th. It's going to be down in Florida.
Yeah. In Jacksonville, of all places.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Got to get
this. Bummer that we can't make it to it.
I know.
Yeah, we got to get that up here, huh?
Well,
normally Hooligans Holidays up here.
Yeah, they did the Hooligan Holiday up here last year.
Connection? Yeah, what's the connection with Hooligan Holiday? I know it was up in Albany, and now it's like who's down in Florida?
I think a lot of it is they move it around.
I see.
So it's
just because so people can get to it that couldn't get to it the year before or whatnot.
Yeah, it's a black and blue event. So I think they try to hit different cities. Last year, obviously, was Albany. Great turnout. Murphy's Law played, and this year, obviously, trying to cater a little bit to Minus and get him to play.
Yeah. Are we offering? Is there any sort of a code or something you mentioned?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you go on our website, and we're going to open up to anything on the web store, and enter in Stone 10 and get 10% off anything.
Stone 10.
Yep, Stone 10.
All capital letters. So STONE 10 will give you 10% off at checkout.
Okay. It's caps. It's not small like I did, but the code is Stone 10 and you get a discount. And there it is. There's the first one that we're doing with Upstate Records, and it's a damn good one. And looking forward to doing this again. We'll see you next week with the next one.
You got
Definitely.
it.
We're looking forward to it too. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. My pleasure. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Kim. Devin, keep doing what you do, out there in the Midwest in Fargo, North Dakota. I'll see you guys soon. All right.
Yep. Go
Later.
Giants.
Drew.
Go Giants.
Yo, Giant game starts in about a half hour. Actually, no, the Giant game kicks off in 7 minutes. All right.
We're gonna do
Gotta
picture in
go.
picture.
See you. Gotta go.
Kim.
Bye
Later.
bye.
All right. Be good.
Well, there you have it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, and Upstate Records. Let's bring today's guest back on the show, the hard-hitting Pride of Long Island, John LaFata. What's up, bro?
What's going on?
Hey, let's talk a little bit about your time in Madball. And got a couple of pictures. I mean, let's. I guess let's kick it off with this one because I think it's safe to say that you were in the drum chair for the Madball Look My Way era. How did your stint in Madball come about?
Oh my gosh, this is not a good story. No, I'm just kidding. No, so my friend Damien Bauer, who was like, he was like a big hardcore guy in CBs and stuff like that. And they were looking for a drummer. So he said, why don't you come down here and you should try for Madball? I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Now, let me just interject. Who was playing before you said it? Was it
Walter? The guy Walter? I forget his name.
Yeah. Monster? Walter.
I don't know his last name. It was Walter.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Walter.
it was really bad because I saw them play at CB's and I walked in the backstage room when they just got done and I go, yo, I heard you're looking for a drummer. I'm your new drummer. And they're like, shut the fuck up. And the drummer was sitting there. So it's kind of stupid. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I was just retarded. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be like, I'm your new drummer. And they're like, who are you? So it was so funny. So like Matt Henderson's like, let me walk you out. The drummer's sitting there and you like just come in the back room. It was so funny. And I was just young and ambitious. And I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I know I can do this. And like, he's like, all right, come down to the studio. And that's when I went down and I tried out and I had to learn all the songs and stuff. And that's why I was saying like Will Shepler is like I listened to it. I'm like, yeah, all right. This stuff's not that hard, but it actually is. Like, he is like really good. And I'm like, I tried to just go in and wing it kind of. And they're like, no, you're way off. I'm like, wow. So I had to really like try hard. Yeah. And they gave me the songs and I'm just like, I never realized like Will Shepler is like so simple, but he's like such a hard drummer. And it's like crazy. It
reminds me a little bit of like Ringo Starr. People think his drumming's really easy and really simple, but when you actually try to play it, it's not that simple.
No, it's not that easy. It's ridiculous. It's like, even Black Sabbath, it's like, even like, just very simple stuff, but it's the little things that make the difference. Yep. So like, when it was just so funny because I tried out for them and, I went to a studio in the city and it was like all these DMS guys sitting there watching me. And I'm like, I'm really nervous. Like, just like, and I had to play all the songs and I had to learn like literally like two records in like probably a week. I'm like, what? And I just went for it, but they were like, but they were so nice. Everybody was so cool. And they were just like, you're one of us and like, welcome me. And I was like, and then I got confidence, That's what was cool about it. Yeah, such nice people. Like all those guys are so nice. Like everybody thinks like, oh, Madball tough guy. No, that's bullshit. They are so good, such good people. Yeah,
so. I've always been very. I love Madball, and I did their first video. Out of pocket because I did the very first music video they did. I did out of pocket with the leftover film from like the Slam video we did. And like, it was like in my refrigerator, a couple odds and ends. And I shot, and that's the Down by Law Madball video I did. Yeah. Is this photo here, is it safe to say that one of the first things you did was, did you guys go to Australia?
Yeah. So we went to Australia and this was the coolest thing in my life. Like we had pictures, like we actually got to like hold a koala. Like, who gets to hold a koala? Like, that was like one of the best moments. Like, it's so soft. Like, I'm a big mush when it comes to animals, but
I joined. Yeah, here we go, people. I got the other picture. Hold on. I joined Madball, and I got to hold a koala.
I love it. And that's my
Yeah.
Earth Crisis shirt. One of my other favorite drummers, Dennis. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
Dennis is. They're coming here to Long Island. I'm so excited. Like that guy just rules, man. He's just unbelievable. I love Earth Crisis.
Earth Crisis is playing Long Island.
Yeah, in Amityville, and I'm getting in there. I don't care what the fuck happens. I don't care if you sell out of tickets. I'm coming in with Coors Light.
Because Earth Crisis hasn't played in a minute, man. Right?
That's right. Well, I saw the flyer. I hope I'm not wrong.
No, but up until like Earth Crisis hasn't played in a while. I guess they're starting. They're starting to play.
Well, you know, when I saw him, like he's one of my favorite drummers too. Really, like when you watch that guy, he's incredible. Like,
He's a great drummer.
Here's
a sort of like, so here's a Madball shot. Not sure where this is from, but so you were in the band. It was you and Beto and Freddie and Hoya.
Yeah.
That was kind of a like back to basics 4-piece. So, but when you joined the band, Matty was in the band, and then he left, and Beto joined while you were in the band.
No, they both were in the band, I believe.
Oh,
and then Beto left. You know, I hope I have the timeline right.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you played with Beto. That's cool.
Yeah, no, he's awesome, man. Demise was like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah,
like back in the day, like I love. Like when I heard Demise on Crucial Chaos, that was like one of my favorite. Like, just got me amped. You know, that's why I love Hoya too. Like he's just like an all around, like he's the original hardcore dude, like bass player. You know, just like Scott and like you know Mike D. Like he plays bass like crazy. You know. Somebody
said, "Is that the same Mapex kit he always had?"
I don't know. That I borrowed that. It's not my stuff. Yeah.
Is this?
I'm a Tama guy. I love Tama, Rockstar. That's all there is to it. I had the same kit for 30 years. That actually, I sent you that because that is a picture of the Berlin Wall.
Ah. Is this on a Madball tour?
No, that's on a Neglect tour. And I just thought it was cool because we broke down pieces of the wall when the Berlin Wall was up. And I thought that was really cool. We played in like a lot of youth hostels, you know, and like, you know, just a really good, like, imagine being there and actually, I gave away all the wall, by the way. I took pieces of it.
Yeah, I had pieces of it too. I don't have any more. Yeah, I gave it all away.
It was so cool. It's like, you know, like that's a history. It's history, and I experienced it. So
yeah, it's an incredible time to be over there.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, excuse me. The here's the last Madball shot. I'm assuming that, you know, joining Madball, you find yourself on some of these big stages for the first time, huh?
Oh, so that one is actually, that's Raja, which is pretty cool. Well, he came out to announce us at Dynamo. And I swear, I shit my pants a little bit. You know, I had a little diarrhea in my pants.
So wait a second.
Madball played too. So
you played with Madball at Dynamo.
I don't know when it was.
It
was years. It was so many years ago. But I
think
swear,
it was the second time. I think it was the second time Madball played Dynamo. Yeah.
It was a great time. I'm like, I focused, and I'm like, I couldn't focus anymore. It was just crazy. It was nuts. But
that's intense.
It's an incredible feeling, you know, just seeing Raja, and then like I just watch Agnostic Front, and like, you know, being with those guys, it like makes your hair stand up, you know.
Yeah, it's great. That's great.
Best time of my life. Like that was like one of the best times of my life. I'm like, but because I'm like, I get nervous around a lot of people, but that one was like, holy shit.
You know what? Let's as we go here, we're gonna field a question or two. Jay says, ask him about playing in Sheer Terror.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sheer Terror was great. I mean, I love playing in Sheer Terror. It was so much fun. Like I didn't play that long, but like, you know, like they asked me into the band, and we had so much good times. And Jay Banks just asked me that. You know, he was in the band at the time,
right?
And he was eating chips in the hotel room, by the way. So now, if you want to get that out, He was in the. But no, it was such a good time. Like those guys, I gotta say, like Sheer Terror is like so fair. They were like so fair to us. Like I just joined, and I used to actually I interviewed Paul Bearer when I had a fanzine when I was like.
Is that right?
Yeah, I had a fanzine when I was like 13 years old, and he let me come over and interview him, which is crazy. And I still got the fanzine. It was like pick it up. So I used to I went over there and I freaking interviewed him. And I was like, I would love to play in this band one day. It was an honor. It was good. But Anthony's much better in the band. Not me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very accommodating of you.
It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long.
Another band I think we should touch on is this band, which just played one of the Bowery Electric shows, which I really enjoyed. Deathcycle. Could you give us a little bit of your history with this band?
I don't know the timelines too much, but I guess after I wasn't playing for a while, went to Deathcycle, and Ron's great, and Paul.
Ron Grimaldi, Long Island legend.
He's the best. He's the best. He's such a good friend. You know what's great about Ron? Like he talks at shows and people get pissed off about what he says, but he's totally right every single time. Whatever side politically, I don't want to get in politics, but he always talks the truth and he does his research. That's what I like about Ron.
Yeah.
And when he talks, it's like, it makes sense. There's no bullshit, and he's always good. And he it was an honor playing with Ron. I love how he rolls on the floor and says, "Fuck you. If you don't like it, fuck off." I love it.
Yeah, you guys were great. You guys were really. You guys were good. I really enjoyed it.
He's like Ron is true punk rock. I don't care what anybody says. I listen to everybody. Everybody flip flops. That guy's been always real and to the point, and he's stuck with his shit. So that's what I like about him.
This is like a real sort of interesting combination of players here. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it definitely reeks of Long Island, but Gary, you, Ron, Paul. I mean,
and by the way, that's Jay Banks next to Ron with the glasses.
There
Course
he is.
for long. He played in Course for long. That's the guy who keeps commenting.
There he is,
which is good.
there you are, Jay Banks.
No, because we always with the cause go crew. So.
Deathcycle is a band that kind of the wave goes in and the wave goes out. You guys through the years, right? You play a couple gigs and then it's sort of like,
I just took a break. That's all.
Yeah.
I took a break. I was in a bad spot. I just kind of wanted to stop playing for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and so they wanted to move on, which is good. It should have been that way. Just like I said, everybody moves on, but then now when I play again, I'm like, it's my home.
Yeah.
You guys are my home.
There he is.
He's sick.
Who's also a big part of our sponsor, Generation Records. He's really close with Mark Yoshi and Generation Records, who are one of the big supporters of this show, man. Awesome. This show could not happen without Generation Records, New York Hardcore Comics. They've been, Organic Grill. They've fucking supported this show hard since the beginning, man. I could not do this show without them, man.
Awesome. Glad to spawn you.
Yeah. Drumming Moose says Ron has such a powerful voice. It's beastly.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's definitely a beast.
Yeah.
So hair. I wish I had hair like that. I'd be a beast too.
Yeah. Here's some interesting flyer of.
I know. I don't know what I
This is like, Flipper. I love this. Come blow chunks with Flipper. Piss Jeans, the Shemps, and that's like I remember this place, North 6. That was an interesting club. I saw a couple bands there.
I love Flipper.
Yeah.
What's interesting? I'm actually more of a California punk guy than a New York hardcore guy, actually. I just have to say, like,
Yeah.
I'm like a DI adolescence. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, I love as much as like it's crazy, but I love like TSOL. I just love the Midwest bands like Willful Neglect. Actually, Willful Neglect is a band. I don't know if you ever heard them, but they're awesome. I think they're Wisconsin, but that's how I came. I don't mean to steal their name, but I said Neglect because that's how I like. Yeah, but I love Willful Neglect. I listened to them when I was like 14 years old.
Willful Neglect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. Like,
It's interesting.
even Worm and Met Bench and like, I'm a very big Midwest California punk.
That's interesting. That's interesting. One of the guys in my band, Tristan DeGraves, is like a big West Coast guy, loves all that stuff. And for me, a lot of that, wasn't on my radar screen. I was like a New York, Boston, East Coast hardcore dude. And like a lot of that West Coast stuff, didn't come across my radar screen. But, Tristan is super up on all that,
Like DI is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, DI, TSOL,
Yeah, I love
verbal abuse, Fang, all that shit,
Well, yeah, it's like I'm just more like the punk energetic stuff, like. But I love like my favorite hardcore bands are like Rest in Pieces. I love that shit, like of course Sick of It All, but I mean, it's good shit. It's like good shit. And nobody ever noticed.
Now says, me too. I like that more than New York hardcore. Yeah.
And Fear,
But I do like New York hardcore. Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, there's room on the boat for everybody. Yes, Youth Brigade. Yeah.
Oh my God, I have that on clear vinyl. Love Youth Brigade.
That's I gotta get some more West Coast flavor on the show. Here's another one. Yeah, this is a great. Deathcycle seems to get on some funky ass bills. Here's Deathcycle with the Dwarves.
I don't know how to. That's awesome. I love the picture.
Yeah, it is. It's great, man. It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell that happened. But
and where else? The Crazy Donkey.
I know, yeah.
Right?
The Crazy Donkey was like, it's very like, it's a weird place. It was on 110 in it's on, I think it's Linden. I don't know if Farmingdale.
It was Farmingdale. Yeah. But that's not there anymore, right?
No, but it's so weird because like Fear played with like DI, like all these bands played and nobody was there. And I'm like, this is so weird. And it was like, what do you call it? Flipside magazine. They had all the like, I'm like, how is nobody here? Because nobody cares about those bands here.
Right.
I hate to say it, but but I was like, nice. I have the whole place to myself. I'm not going to watch the bands.
That happens. I find that happens. Even I booked the Bowery Electric shows, and I don't want to mention names, but some bands at this point just don't translate that much to the East Coast. Like people aren't coming out. A lot of the kind of the old time hardcore bands too. Like people are getting older. People are dying off. New kids today want to go see Turnstile. They don't want to see. From 1981. It's fucked up, but it's kind of true,
Well, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
What's to hang out with old 50-year-olds?
I know that. Oh wow. Here. Speaking of, and I know we're poking around a little bit, but
I was just letting my cat out.
Let her out. I know we're poking around, but I just want to. I forgot this one a little bit, and I just want to mention it. This is a Madball Stigmata Blood for Blood.
It's hanging up, but I don't really know where it was.
Yeah, no, it's the QE2, man.
Well, Albany.
Albany and the QE2, the old infamous QE2. This is a good upstate bill right there, That's from 1997, 9/26/97.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
And also just one more of these flyers. Unless am I not reading this? No, of course it says it on the flyer. This is Mind Over Matter playing in 2013 at the Paramount with the Bouncing Souls.
That was like a little that was a reunion kind of
reunion
show.
Thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was I mean, it was a good show, but it's just like that Paramount doesn't fit us, I guess. It was like it's so hollow and big and
yeah, that's like the big room out there now, right?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I like seeing Bouncing Souls, which is great. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we have a long history of Bouncing Souls. Actually, like we
Really?
went to when mine and Matt used to play, we played actually at their house that they used to have in New Jersey with skate ramps and shit, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
And people were hanging out the windows,
Wow.
drinking. Yeah, it was so cool. It was like total the place you want to be, you know. And like, you know, you just play outside, and everybody's going nuts, and people. It was just great. Like Bouncing Souls are true, like really punk, even though they're pretty big now, which is good. Like, you know, but that show wasn't that great. It was like, you know, big and hollow and sound like shit a little bit. But
Yeah, that's a big sort of. It's like an old movie theater. Right? The Paramount's an old movie theater, right?
yeah, I think.
Pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't. I was there recently, not in the building though. I was on that street recently. But yeah, they have a lot of rock bands play there. You know, like Steve Vai plays there, right?
I saw Exodus there, and I bought like a $40 shirt, which is not like me, and I dropped it on the ground, and I ran around 3 blocks trying to find it, and I found it. Some car ran over it.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, and I parked on the other side, so lost my car too.
Let's talk a little bit about The Great Lie. How did this come about, and what's happening?
About 8 years ago, I joined The Great Lie. They kind of just it was crazy. I wasn't really playing that much anymore, and well, I just took a break a little bit. And my cousin, it's kind of strange, but one of the reasons why I play drums too is my cousin Big Mike. They call him that at the drum store. Like he's Big Mike LaFata he's a 50s drummer. So my other cousin Jimmy, he works with Mark Lopez, who was playing in the band at the time, and he's like, "Oh, you should meet John. You know, he plays hardcore." And they're like, "We're looking for a drummer." And he's like, "I know John. Oh, I play in 2-man." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I started playing with them, joined the band, and then that's it from there. Just evolved, and then a lot of changes happened. You know, started going more thrash, and then I guess we're more punk now. So,
is it safe to say is The Great Lie kind of like your main focus these days?
It's my main focus, and my friends, and the fun that I have. That's what it is. Like we meet every week. Scott's in the band. Scott Martin, Kerry Merkel. You know, he played in John Wilkes Booth. And then we also have Mike Scarola, who he actually plays in a band called Half Ton, which is pretty cool. They're actually they actually have a style like the Hammerhead style. They're like, so it's a medley. And then Jerry played with us too, Jack Loney. He's not playing with us right now, but like, you know, one of my favorite guitarists. I had a lot of fun, but like we're just moving. We're just kind of doing more punk kind of stuff now, like more, you know, thrash punk style. But I love, you know, we meet every week. We have a great time. That's all there is to it. So
cool. Yeah, and here's a cool flyer. Like you said, TSOL, The Great Lie, the scandals at the studio Webster Hall from a couple years ago.
Yeah, and that the little signatures Jack signed it because I'm a big
fan
of Jack.
Yo, me too. We love that guy. We love that guy.
He's a fucking crazy nut. So I love that guy. Again, California, you know, I like that shit.
I gotta get Jack Grisham back on the show. He did an early on show, and it was great. It was great. He just did some sort of a crazy documentary about TSOL. I gotta get him back on the show to talk about it.
I mean, like the stories he has, like I talked to him for a little bit, and like the stories I've had about like the old days, like just how crazy it was. Like now you're safe. Like you go to a hardcore show, nobody's like back then. It's like when you look at Suburbia, like the movie Suburbia, it's one of my favorite movies. Like I just love looking at the history of like, even though it was violent and crazy, but I love that shit. There's no bite anymore. I feel like there's no bite. You're bringing that back, which is cool. No, well, you're bringing that back. I think like bringing it back, like, you know, like you did doing the Bowery Electric shit, and I never really experienced it. I think you're bringing that shit back to like where the ground roots, you know, and that's what I want to see.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
No, you're doing a good job because like I see the pictures, and you have good pictures, and you know.
I also feel. Thank you. I appreciate that. And as much as I'm trying to bring it back, or whatever, I'm also trying to do something in the present. You know what I mean? Like I recognize like this is the present and we're looking ahead to the future. But I do want to say also that I feel that for young people out there today, they have their own version of what you and I were doing when we were kids. So for them, this is their golden age. And, you know, we're just farther along down the line than they are. So I feel that somewhere for some people, that moment is existing right now in hardcore, you know?
Yep.
So
exactly. And
yeah.
you know, it's great to go to shows now and like everybody's cool. And you know,
Yep.
if you think about it, like people are like, oh, I wish the CBG these days, whatever. But if you look back then, like it was a lot of fucking violence and people beating each other down. And like, what do you really want that shit? Fuck it, you know? But you know what's cool? All the bands are back. Everybody's back. Everybody's having a good time. And we're having a good time and nobody can like, you know, and we're here again. And that's all there is to it. Fuck politics. We're all together. Everybody just gets together and has a good time. Good bands, which is great, which I experienced there. I never really like I said, I don't think I've ever been to Bowery Electric until like 2 weeks ago, which is pretty crazy. That's what I'm saying. You know,
it's a special
a whole new door opens for people.
It's a special thing that we have going, and you know that you know it's not just me. I mean, I'm the figurehead of it. But it's guys like Larry Kelly and Ray Hogan and Tony Palmisano. Like these guys put in a lot of work, you know, to make those shows come off the way they do. You know, a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes with getting the back line together and picking up the equipment in Jersey and getting food for the backstage and like the whole shit, man. So it's a real team. It's a real team effort, man. You know, so but it's special, man. And it's enjoyable. It is. It brings me joy. You know, I say, I've said it that down at the show that nothing brings me more joy than when one of those shows is popping.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I love doing this. I love making films. You know, I love being on stage. But when that shit, you know, and I realize what it is. It's because it's the community. You know what I'm saying? It's not me on stage or my movie. It's all of us together. Fuck it, not to be corny, but it's all of us together, like in the community, and it's sizzling. I feel the energy, and that brings me the most joy, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got one more good story for you here. So,
yeah, please.
Like I worked in an advertising company, which was so fucking boring, whatever.
Sure.
So the guy, my manager, his name was Jim Porcelli, and he's like, "Oh, you play this crazy hardcore shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know?" You know? And he goes, "Well, I'm sure you know my brother, Porcel." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I was in Mosh Pit." And I'm like, "Oh," I thought it was funny because I was like,
His last name was Porcelli.
Porcel is really Porcelli.
Yes, it's Porcelli. Yes, of course.
Yeah, and he's like, "That's my brother of you today."
Wow.
Yeah, and he was like, "Now I know who you are," and he was like, "I don't trust you no more."
That's funny.
Great. I just
hey, while you're here, instead of like taking a break, I want to mention it kind of segues real quick. Instead of me taking a sponsor break, let's do this real quick. Hey, I want to mention to everybody. Speaking of the Bowery Electric and what we're doing, the next show is Sunday, February 12th. It's free, all ages, Sunday matinee on the Bowery with Shutdown, Kings Never Die, Incendiary Device. It's going to jump off tonight. End of Hope with Davey Gunner, formerly of Kraut, and India Vid. The show after that is Two Man Advantage, first New York show in 5 years with Enziguri, Fuck It, I Quit, featuring Tim from Ensign, Non-Residents, and Iconicide with the infamous Chris Iconicide. Go is playing their first New York City show in 12 years on Sunday, April 30th with Crazy Eddie, Down Low, Crippled Earn, who's coming back, and Chumhuffer. These are the all ages free Bowery Electric shows that we're doing. Please come out and support these. It is important. So that said,
and Shia Terra playing tonight in Brooklyn.
That's right. Is it St. Vitus?
St. Vitus. Shia Terra's playing St. Vitus tonight. Go check it out. It's gonna be a great show. I wish I could go, but
Yep.
I'm feeling a little under the weather still, but
Yeah. RS70, resident graffiti history, respects to everyone making free shows these days. Yeah, it ain't
well, that's
easy.
not free, but
Yeah. Well, he's talking about the Barry Electric stuff.
$10 million a beer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So here we go. Yes, everyone's on the guest list when I do the Barry Electric shows. Let's take a couple of questions, John, from around the world. First one's from Mike Shady. Have you guys considered Wreckage reissuing any MOM or neglect material now that the label is back?
Not sure. I'm a drummer, so I don't get. I'm probably not informed about it, but
Right.
we'll see. If somebody texts me, I'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not sure. You know what?
Yeah.
I'd love to. Like, I know Artie Shepherd's been doing some stuff for like charity and stuff like that. I would love to see that. That's what I like.
Cool.
Put all the money to something good, a good cause. I'm not looking to make money on this shit.
Sure. And like we talked about, that's a great way to approach it, man. We do it because we love it, and fortunately, we sort of find our financial support elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ivan G asks, ask John about DJing house music. He's a deep house head. Is that right?
Yes, I am. I am like, I gotta say, I have more vinyl that's house records than hardcore. I am.
Wow.
I do DJ. I love it. I love deep house. I used to go to raves all the time, and that's the way. Yeah, I don't care. You know what? Matter of fact, I like when hardcore started dying down. I started seeing a lot of people into hardcore at house. At some of these dens that I went to, and it's pretty cool because it's like a different scene, and everybody can knock it, say whatever you got to say, but it is like it's another brotherhood, and that's all it is. And they're nice people, and it's so good, and you'll have fun. And I have a lot of records, and I do that. I actually make mixes and shit like that. I actually made a house record. My friend DJ Smith.
We've talked about this many times. Listen, it's all like in the parallel universe. The community and culture of hardcore is very similar to the community and culture in house, which is very similar to the community and the culture in what have you, in jazz or the fucking Grateful Dead. It's so there came a certain point when people would be like, oh yeah, fuck them or fuck that. It's like there was an aha moment in my life where I realized it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous.
If you've never been to a deep house club or never experienced it, you can call it whatever you want, but you will have a great time, and you'll see like the good people, just like in our scene, they're just good people, and we have a good time, good feelings, everybody's good, and you would never think that I probably, actually, when I first went to Germany, I was introduced to house music, back in the Minor Matter days. Like, this guy was like, there's a whole other world out there. You don't even know what you talk, like, you don't even know. And I went into a rave and I was like, wow, this is incredible. It's
funny you should say that. I got a story. When I was managing Marauder in 1990, let's say 6, they were in Europe touring on the Master Killer record, right? And they were opening up for a big band called the Bosa Uncles, doing like arenas, right? And we had a was it, I don't know if it was a bus, it was a Sprinter or whatever. And we played a show and went to the next show. And we showed, and it was apparently, I forgot, maybe if anybody in Europe, out in Germany, they played in this big place. I think it was like an old submarine factory from World War II or something. It was gigantic. It was like a gigantic sprawling place. And we went in and parked and went to sleep or whatever. And at about 3, 4, 5 in the morning, we were woken up, by this sort of thudding sound. And we got up and wandered out, and there was like this rave going on. And this is the first time that I didn't even know such things existed. And we wandered into this thing, and we were just like, it was amazing. It was like, wow. It was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. It was huge. what was the name? It was somewhere in Germany. Not, but
Like Leipzig.
What's that?
Leipzig, probably.
Leipzig, I would remember. I've been Leipzig. It was something like Mannheim or something like that. So yeah, I'll never forget that.
I actually did. I did a house set opening up for African Bambaataa.
Oh wow!
At the PWAC, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. He came up and like mixed some stuff and like everybody's taking mushrooms, but that's a different story. But but good stuff. I mean, it's all the same. You see a lot of the same people. It's all the same scene. We're all
Sure.
it's all different, but who cares? It's
Hey
great.
man, at this point, I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy now. I love all music, and
Yeah.
music is my life. It really is. Music is my life. You know,
That's
I
a
had a
house
career.
song.
Yeah. Is
There
it?
you go.
Yeah. Kerry says, let the people know new great Lie tunes coming soon.
Yeah, so Kerry's my singer, obviously, and yeah, we're working on some new stuff, which is pretty cool. We got like 5 songs. Not really sure what the names are yet, but because I'm a drummer, no, but it's really good. We're starting to make progress. We have some good stuff. It's totally different. It's not going to be like it's definitely more off time kind of not really as much thrash, more punk style. So yeah, it's cool. We got some good stuff, and hopefully we get somebody to record it, and we'll see who we're gonna use. But we just want to take our time. There's no rush, but I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be definitely cool. Hopefully we get some shows out there if anybody's interested in us, booking us. I know we're kind of like in the middle of the ground stuff, but
Sure.
this stuff's definitely more like punk rock kind of off time kind of stuff like that. So
Good. And Kerry reached out to me because I got some dates. I'm booking Barry Electric, and I got a couple slots. So reach out to me.
yeah, we'd be honored to play. Like,
No, I want you guys in there. Here's a very good question from Pat Baldwin. He says, Neglect's lyrics seem tongue-in-cheek at times, but darker than any other band I could think of. Could he speak a little on where these themes came from?
I really can't speak in detail about Brian's lyrics, but Brian is definitely like changed since then. But that was definitely a time when we all kind of just was like, we kind of piggybacked off just like, I guess like we took like, even Sheer Terror, right? It was like a very like hate core, like kind of stuff like that. But we just wanted to take it one step further and just go crazy.
Well, if I may interject, I think Neglect is sort of recognized as one of like the original or initial like hate core bands. I mean, in a certain way, like you think
sort of, but what's crazy, if you really listen to the lyrics, it's not really about the hate comes from the hate creates positivity in my eyes. That's what it is. That's what it is in my eyes. Like the hate creates positivity. It's almost like, you don't see what we're seeing and you're out. That's it. Like, that's all it is. Like, that's what it was. That's what Brian really brings to me. Like, everybody's like, oh, he's so negative. He's so negative. I'm like, no, he's bringing to light the shit that we see that you're thinking. That's what it is, right? So that's what it is. It wasn't, and if you haven't met Brian before, or Brian Beal, or anybody in Neglect, they're the best. Like, Brian's the best person. I just talked to him yesterday. We're gonna go hang out next week, whatever. We're gonna go see HR, whatever the fuck, But like, I still talk to him. And he's actually found God and all this stuff. He's a different person, but he's still the same person in his mind. Like, I always understood him. And people don't understand him. That's what it is. People they jump the gun and they're like, oh, but it's not really true. It's like, but it was definitely more wild when we were younger.
Yeah, for sure.
With the bottles and cutting and messing up my cymbals with the blood. So
a couple this one came up a couple times. John, do you play single or double? Here's another one. Single pedal or double?
Double bass pedal all the way. I'm a
Is that right?
Yeah, I always play. It's funny. I don't even know how to play single bass. I always play double bass.
From the very beginning, you used the double pedal?
From the very beginning, I've had double bass drums. I mean, like when I think I was like 11 when I got my first drum set. It was single, of course, but I alternate feet and stuff, so I always use double bass drum pedal. Some people say overdo it, whatever, but I like it. I could be good in a thrash band.
In your opinion, who's got some of the greatest feet in the business?
The greatest feat. Well, definitely Dave Lombardo.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even say Dave Lombardo is one of my favorite drummers because I'm jealous. He's just too good.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like a guy like that, like, I love like Exodus, man. Guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Exodus, I love that. And I don't know who else. Like, I'm
You
just
know who had great feet? I don't know if you know this guy, Raymond from Fear Factory. He
Yeah,
had like he
he's
had the
good.
most. I remember watching him and just being like,
Suffocation, like, you know, just like shit.
you
No,
know, like,
I don't like it too. I don't like too much. That's why I say like when I like even suffocation and stuff like that. Like I like
oh,
the
bingo,
pure, like
Gene
pure metal.
Hoglan, Gene Hoglan, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
like
guy's a
pure metal. Like not like it gets boring and anybody can do that. Get trick pedals and you know whatever. But like I'm talking about real groove playing where you can hear it. You know, and it's not just like a mechanism. That's all.
Oh, I
So
see the connection. Yeah, we played with Mr. Bungle and Dave Lombardo was playing drums. Dave Lombardo was playing drums with Mr. Bungle that night.
an anvil bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a good one. Drew, have John or Paul Bearer DJ some of the Bowery shows. Turn people on to other kinds of music. Music always gets better with different influences in their skulls. Excuse me. You know, I asked Paul Bearer to DJ, and to his credit, he just felt like the stuff that he DJs. He DJs a lot of soul and a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
and we both sort of thought that maybe for these hardcore matinees, a lot of the kids would just be confused. So we sort of we tapped out on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother. Like you wouldn't even understand the stuff. I haven't really like I'm into like really dark, deep house, like crazy shit. Like, you know, that you wouldn't even like. You have to be on ecstasy at 4 a.m. to like the shit that I like. No, really, that's what it is. I used to go to Roxy all night long. Like you know, the tunnel. Like I'm like crazy like that. Like you know, you would not like it. Trust me, nobody would like the shit that I do.
Well, yeah, that's our boy Chris Contos, and Tony Scaglione from Whiplash. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Chris Contos is a good friend of mine, and
oh, by the way, Tony Scaglione is one of my favorite drummers too. That guy's fucking rip roaring, dude. And he played with Jay Banks, the guy keeps asking questions. You know, with Cause for Alarm. But like that guy is rip roaring, fucking killer. So
absolutely. Well, hey man, that was great, and thank you so much, for coming on, John. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank?
No, just my friends and family. You know, I was really happy. Like a lot of people reached out to me today and like was like good luck. You know, my good friends and people just like good luck. You know, it was kind of nice. It's like they actually are paying attention. So I know who my real friends are. I don't need any. I really don't need any comfort or whatever. But those people did reach out to me, and I know who my real friends are, and that's what. And that's all. And they all know who I am. So I thank them all.
Yeah.
And I thank everybody for listening. And I thank you for having me on the show. So
my pleasure. You were a great guest, and you're welcome back anytime. And I'll talk. I'll talk to Kerry. And
by the way, Pitchfork. Buy some Pitchfork stuff.
That's right.
By the way, Pitchfork. My best friend Derek. He's like one of the owners of Pitchfork. That's why I always wear Pitchfork shirts. He's like my best buddy. So if you want some gear, go to Pitchfork.
There you go.
I grew up with Derek. I grew up with Derek since 5th grade. He's been by my side since 5th grade. So
good. Yeah, and you do have some good friends out there, and Jay Banks and Gary Bennett, and you got some good people in your corner, man. So all the best. And Nick Sabbath, yes, thank you, buddy. Excellent show. John's a great interview. It was great.
Thank you.
Yep, we do great shows. That's what we do here. 200 and something shows into it. We better know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
Yes, LaFata rules. Absolutely. All right, John. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good evening.
Thank you, brother.
My pleasure.
It.
Take care.
Great day.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Well, there you go. John LaFata was our guest today on the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Hey, I just want to mention again that Upstate Records Upstate Records. Here is now that we have this. Here is the code is all caps STONE, as in Drew Stone, Stone to the Bone. Stone 10 at the checkout. Save 10%. Anything at Upstate Records. So excited to have them as a sponsor. This is a long time coming. We have such a great roster of sponsors. I'm talking about Upstate Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Generation Records, DTFM Vinyl Distro, The Texas Silver Rush, Organic Grill, and New York Hardcore Comics. Just a reminder, we will be back in a week. In 1 week, we will be back with, bam, Brian Harris of Death Before Dishonor. That said, yes, thank you, Victoria. It was a very nice show. That said, I think I covered all the bases. Let's go check out that New York Giant game and see what's going on. Go New York Rangers, too. I got to say, I was at the Ranger game the other night. Incredibly exciting game. Thank you all for supporting the show. I love you. Do good things, and good things will come to you.